Hey guys, it's me again. Oops, what's that doing there? Get that out of the way. Tuck that away in the drawer. Alright. What I'm going to do today, I'm going to pick this Schlage lock. And just want to show you guys, I have impression this key for this lock. If I can get it out, I'm having to hold my phone with one hand. I'm pressing keyed this lock. I'm not going to tell you the bidding because I do use that on my house. So, but I cut this key just by sticking it in the lock, turning it, jiggling it, taking it out, and looking for marks along the top edge on the corners or on the dead center, and then you just lightly file it, and just keep repeating this process until you get the plug to turn just a little more each time, and eventually it's just going to open right up. But it does take a little time if you don't have the proper tools and equipment. Now what I have here is a 6-pin Schlage lock, and pretty high end, or for civilian market, for home or what have you. But it's fairly expensive lock. But it's a 6-pin. It's only pinned with 5 because that's the way it came from the factory. And when I opened this lock up, it had one spool in it, and I went ahead and repinned it and added a bunch more spools. So you have 4 spools, 1 standard pin. The reason you put the standard pin is because if you have all spools, and depending on the key bidding on the pins, it could cause this plug to rotate slightly when there's no key in it, and it can cause damage to the cylinder. But I'm going to go ahead and try to flip this around and show you guys how I picked this, and hopefully somebody will enjoy my video. Hopefully you'll be able to see my video. I don't know if the lighting's proper. I don't even know if you guys can see me. I guess we'll find out. Now for this, I'm just going to use a standard tension tool. It's got a twist here so that I push against the flat side. And you can make these out of windshield wiper inserts, or you can get wire over the internet, and this just happened to come with a kit that I've purchased. So for this, I'm going to use bottom of the keyway tension, and on these Schlage locks, I don't know if you can see this keyway, but at the bottom it has a little curve on the warding, and that curve deflects my pick, and I can't really get good leverage when I have to lever the pins up. So hopefully you guys can see this, and try to explain to you what I'm doing as I do it. Right now what I'm doing, I go to the back of the keyway, and I'm just scrubbing back and forth until I feel the curve of my pick, the tip of my pick on a pin, and I'm just going to gently lift, and I'm going to rake out, trying to get a false set. Now I did just get a false set, and my pick's just a little stuck because I must have false set multiple pins at one time, and so my pick's kind of in bind. So what I'll do in this situation, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, I'll just lift up on the pick, and hopefully we'll set another pin. And I did, and so I'm going to work it out, get my pick all the way out of there. And then what I do, I just start from 1, and I'll start filling. And having to use my phone, I don't really have a camera on a tripod, so it's hard for you guys to see the tension that I'm using. But I'm using a medium tension, and because these are real heavy spools, I use medium tension because of the way this lock is. And I just lift, and as you lift, because they're spools, you'll feel counter rotation on this tension wrench. It wants to rotate against you, and so I just let it rotate back until it snaps back in place at the shear line, and then the tension wrench will rebound back to its original position, or actually a little bit lower than original. And for some reason, I'm on video, I'm having trouble filling these pins right now. And there we go. It's just that simple. And just to prove to you guys, this isn't some bogus lock that I've just pinned up with 1 pin, or you know, whatever, just set them all at one level where I could just raise a pick and pick it. I'll go ahead and gut this lock for you guys, do it Bosnian Bill style, and that way you guys can see kind of what's inside it. Go ahead and remove this screw that holds the cylinder in place. Oh boy, what fun. This will be a long video, huh? Alright, go ahead and remove that, get the cylinder out. And what I'll do, I'll take a just any old pick. I like this one. And there is a little pin here with it's got a spring on it, and it's a retainer that stops this thumb wheel from turning. You just got to depress it slightly. Now they make a tool for this, but I'm low budget pimping, so I don't have the money to buy all that crap. We'll just remove this cap. That's the tailpiece and the cap here. I'll go ahead and remove that there. Just tap out that spring. You want to be careful with that spring. Then what I'll do, I'll rotate this plug so that my pins are along this axis. And the reason I'm going to do that is I'm going to take my makeshift plug follower. It's actually a black powder measure, but hey, country boy, right? And we'll take and we'll slide it through. And the purpose of this is so that my top pins, my driver pins and my springs don't go flying all over the place. Then we'll take this and we'll dump pin out. Well, just dumped a few too many. And I'll get the camera here in just a second and show you guys what we're dealing with here after I clean up my mess I just made here. Alright, now we'll take the plug follower and one by one we'll just dump these. See if I can get this. These are not pinning tweezers. I have a pair on the way, but it sure makes it a lot easier when you have an actual set of pinning tweezers because they grab a lot better. I don't know if that camera can get that, but yeah, it's a fairly deep cut in this spool pin. And we'll just put that there. I don't know where to, oh, there's my spring. Got little brass springs in it, which is factory for this lock. I prefer the steel, they last a lot longer. And we have another little bobo. They also have a tool to take these out and put them in. There's my second spool pin. Guess we'll just continue to dump them like I have been. This one doesn't have as deep a cuts on it. I really don't know if you guys can see that or not. But it is a spool nonetheless. Maybe y'all can see it better this way, but that's the spool pin. It's shaped like a spool of yarn or so, and that's made to catch the catch at the shear line and give you a false impression that your pin is set, which really just slows you down some. I'll put that in a nifty little plug holder I put in my and here's the standard pin. You see it's just all cylindrical in shape. My last spring. I like to keep these in order. That way when I repin it, you know, everything's in order, and I don't have to put it in and put the key in and try to see which is at the shear line. It just saves me a little time and trouble. And so what I'll do, I'll go ahead and flip this camera back around and try to give you guys a close-up of what we're dealing with here. Alright, and there's the spool pins. I know it's a little hard to see. I don't have Bosnian Bills set up over here. I wish I had that budget, but I don't. But I mean, this is pretty much my setup. A lot of these tools I've made myself. Others I've ordered from various places. You know, just I buy the cheap stuff and it works. A lot of my cheaper picks I have to modify. You know, I've got these from Southord. They're okay. They're not the best brand by far, but yeah, I've modified this hook. It's a standard short hook, and I've modified it and cut it down. Gave it a little slender shape, and I don't know if you can see it, but I angled that tip on this, angled it down slightly so that it'd be more like a Peterson's gem. And this is quickly becoming my new favorite pick. I have slimline picks, which are real slender, and to me they're just not as good. It's hard to get on the pin and lift it and feel where you're really at, but you know, all in all, these are good picks. It's what I use. They work. You know, I guess it's kind of like AA. They work if you work it. But anyway, guys, this is my setup. Here's some other keys I've impressioned, and here's one that I did for my girlfriend's door for her closet. Keep people out of there. And it doesn't really look too much like the original key, which is here. But all the bittings are the same, and the key works flawless. It works really good. And from that key, I can actually take and use a decoder, and I could decode it, and then I could get the number for the code. Then I can recut it using a leashy cutter or a pack-a-punch, or I could even use depth and space keys to cut it on a key machine. But pretty much it's a small setup, but it works. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed it. Stay safe, stay legal.